Hey guys, Davison here. Well, your must-watch video of the day was put out by a YouTube user called TotalBiscuit who does video game reviews. TotalBiscuit received an unjust copyright strike because he had YouTube's copyright removals system used maliciously against him by a company called Wild Games Studio that he created a negative video game review about. And the video is worth watching because TotalBiscuit goes through all the reasons that he's justified to use their video game visuals regardless of permission, and then the ways in which the owner of the company lied and changed his mind and manipulated the system in order to retaliate against TotalBiscuit's negative review. So I wanted to use this as an opportunity to talk about how the YouTube copyright system has been used against me in ways that were unjust. Once I created a parody commercial about a specific company that I can no longer talk about because I negotiated resolution and because they didn't like the way in which it portrayed their brand, however jokingly, they used the YouTube copyright system to take down my video, even though my video clearly was transformative, it was a parody, and my usage constituted fair use. So instead of going through the process that I would have had to have gone through legally, which is submit a counter notification to YouTube and then hope that they don't actually try to sue me, I didn't want to live with that uncertainty, and I didn't want to have to endure the strike that would have stayed on my account for at least a month during that whole process. So I negotiated a settlement. So what I did is I said to the company, hey, I know you don't want this video up anymore. That's why you submitted this copyright notice to YouTube. So how about, because we don't want to go to court over this, you retract your claim, and I promise you that I will not reinstate the video or make the video public once YouTube reinstates it. And so both times that happened to me, the second time actually was an artist who was angry at the negative review I made about his work. So very similar to TotalBiscuit's experience. They both said, sure, no problem. And honestly, I don't think either company or individual had the intents of suing me. And that's the problem with YouTube's system. Currently, most people who want to submit copyright claims because of their intellectual property appearing in other people's videos, they issue these takedowns and they have no real onus to actually follow through with anything legally, which is what is supposed to happen. So they just use it to get a takedown, which is what they want, not realizing, I think, sometimes of the effect it has on creators, and not realizing that they are actually doing something illegal in submitting a copyright dispute or takedown notice in bad faith, meaning they have no intention in following through via the courts. So what YouTube needs to do, and somebody had said this before, is that the copyright takedown system needs to change from one that is about takedowns to one that is about claims. So it should be that people who have copyright problems or issues have to submit proof of a court injunction that means they are challenging something that contains their intellectual property in order for a takedown to occur, as opposed to it just being at present wherein it's all about just saying or proving that your material is in someone else's video, regardless of whether or not that use is likely fair use. Because to get a court injunction, you have to first convince a judge that you have a case. So that would automatically dismiss probably 95% of the copyright claims that go through YouTube's DMCA takedown system. Also, now I know I've gone on for a very long time, YouTube absolutely needs to diminish the severity of the repercussions that occur in video creators' accounts when they get a strike, because they've actually increased the severity of the limitations imposed on people's accounts when they get copyright strikes. And that's wrong. Now you can't live broadcast via Google Hangouts. You lose the ability to make videos private. There's a whole bunch of horrible things that happen that last for 6 months that makes creators like me go, oh my God, I don't care if I never ever see that video again. I'm just going to negotiate a settlement because I can't live for 6 months, which is an eternity in online media time. I just don't want to have to live that out and potentially damage my career. So if YouTube would go, okay, why don't we just verify all of these producers? And if there are copyright issues, we can deal with them on a case-by-case basis privately. And YouTube could very well just make a video private as opposed to applying this horrible strike when you get a copyright takedown notice, and then let the dispute play out with the, counter notification or legal injunction process. Because I think most companies and a lot of YouTubers don't realize that a company actually has to sue you successfully in court in order for their copyright claim to be deemed valid. They can't, or for YouTube to have to honor it. If there's no litigation that's occurred, copyright takedown notices are actually baseless, and they're just baseless. So I have rambled enough about this. I hope that, like I said, copyright reform on YouTube takes place and that it helps out creators a little bit more and that it's a little less severe, because when it's severe, then it ends up causing drama and headaches for everyone, as we can clearly see in the case of TotalBiscuit and Wild Game Studio. My name is Davis and I make cool things. I talk about cool things. What are your opinions about the copyright takedown system on YouTube? Has it ever been used against you? How do you think that YouTube should reform it? I also think YouTube needs to reform its copyright, or rather content ID system, because they are allowing royalty-free music to be a part of that system, and that is just plain wrong. So let me know what you think. And my name is Davis and I make cool things. I talk about cool things, and I own all of the rights to this video. These are my bed sheets. Don't copy them or I'll issue you a takedown notice and you'll get a strike.